Operation status quo. Operation status quo. Prepare to engage. Operation status quo. Ready to engage. Operation status quo. Engaged. Engaged. Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Hello. How you guys doing out there? I just want to give you a big smile and say, hi, happy Monday. Are Mondays actually ever really happy, though? Because, you have to get back to a lot of people, obviously, work, like for real work, not like what I do. It's like, but they work for real. So sometimes Mondays kind of suck, And, down here in Florida, actually, it's new to me because, coming from up north, most kids don't go. I never went back to school until after Labor Day. But now, down here, obviously, kids go back to school sooner. And some kids have already gone back to school. And the kids actually in my local area, I believe they go back to school next week, next Thursday. I think it's the 17th, something like that. So, when a Monday comes around, it's like, back to the books, kids, so, but what are you going to do? That's the way the world goes. But, and a beautiful thing, because how we talk here on Operation Status Quo, as the world seems to be changing and everything that's going on out there. Imagine how freeing it'll be when actually Monday can be maybe a relaxed day instead of a day of feeling like drudgery because you have to go back to doing tasks that you really don't care to do whatsoever. But imagine we create a world where we're all engaged with everything that we do and we enjoy what we do. Then it wouldn't matter whether it's a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or whatever day of the week that it may be. So hello and welcome. I am Pete Palma. This is Operation Status Quo. This is a space, a very simple space, really, a simple-minded space, probably, if I want to talk about myself, but a simple space where we observe the status quo of life. We learn to flow with the status quo of life. And then, of course, we create our own flow of quo, because that's the only way to go. So that's what's going on out in the world out there. Well, whatever's going on out in the world out there, I should say. We try to just kind of look at every little facet and talk about it. And remember to not get too crazy and just do what we got to do to make our lives happy each and every day. And today is the 7th of August in the good year 2023, and today's program is entitled iPhone, myPhone, because I had, this realization came to me yesterday. Well, I mean, obviously, let me take a step back as far as realization goes. I'm not like breaking the fourth wall here, the third, wherever they call it. I'm not shaking down the, some kind of crazy, never heard of concept before because people are so engrossed with their phones. It's like over the top sometimes and. Really amazing, just from my perspective of growing up with never having a phone at all until I was like, my later 20s, to these younger people that come up today that have had phones since basically they were born. So it's just an interesting dynamic in how society, how it's changed, especially since the smartphone itself. First we just had the little, the cell phones that were just going to make some calls and do some texts. And then, obviously we progressed into the smartphone era where, everybody now just has carrying a computer around. I'm sure you're aware of this. You may have heard of this. People have phones and little computers in their pockets, basically. But here's the funny thing, because I was yesterday I was out with some friends, and actually, it was very nice because I don't get to be a passenger in a vehicle very often because I'm usually doing things on my own and I'm always driving, right? So it was like has been quite a while, and so it's nice when you have the opportunity to be a passenger in a vehicle and you can look around. And I'm like, oh yeah, I never noticed this building right around the corner from me before because I'm always driving and I can't look and see it. But anyway, while we're driving, I was just watching the other cars around, and I was really, I shouldn't be, but I was amazed to see how many people were on their phones. I mean, we're at some points on a highway, where everybody's doing 80, 90 miles an hour, and I just see these cars like weaving in and out. And as they're weaving in and out, like, the guy's looking down and he's on his phone, texting or whatever the hell he's doing. And I just think, for me, because, this, I had life before cell phone. It's like, before Jesus and after Jesus, BC and, what I mean, AD. It's like, it's the same type of thing. Life before the cell phone, life after the cell phone, and anyway, so, of course, horribly irresponsible and such, driving around like that. I have to say I'm one when it comes to the driving. The phone is down. If I might notice somebody sends me a text or whatever, and I will look at it, but it will only be when I'm at a traffic light. I may start to type of text back, but I'm always, just a second or two, and I'm always looking back up because the people that are on their phones at the traffic lights, and then the light turns green, and then they're just sitting there texting away and have no idea that the light turned green, and they're holding up, everybody. I do not want to be one of those type of people. I find that rude. Again, that's kind of like the thing I thought when I was driving while I was the passenger, but while I was in the car and watching other people around, like on their phone while they're weaving in and out of traffic and they're holding on to their phone, and I thought, yeah, listen, let's not criticize in a sense of, I do understand the dynamic of wanting to, have your cell phone. I mean, like I said in the description notes below, like, it is like a drug, the phone. It's like, it's addicting. And, I notice myself when sometimes if I'm on the phone a little more than usual, if I'm home and I'm checking a couple sites, or I want to check my email, or want to check if did anybody even watch this video and click like? Did you like, subscribe, and share? If I go on YouTube to check, can you please? Because it drives me crazy. I want to stop checking my phone. Just like, subscribe, and share. Help me out, please. Hey-o. But seriously, that's only if you enjoy what you're seeing. And if you do, I appreciate that. And I appreciate you either way, whether you enjoy or don't enjoy. If you're here, I appreciate it. Even if you're not here, I appreciate you. And you don't even know it because you're not here and you've never seen me. You have no idea what I'm talking about. You don't even know I exist. But I still appreciate you out there. So honestly, I just find it to be more of a rude thing, with people on their phones in the car. Of course, it's very dangerous and you're going to kill somebody. But just the way, our humanity is and the way our society is set up, I don't want to go down the whole thing today. I always talk about, our society and how it's designed, to keep us divided, how to keep us weak and this and that and the other. But I mean, this is just another little example of it. Of course, the phone is wonderful technology. I think it's a great thing. I mean, to have a phone, you're out driving, if your car ever broke down, or you need a map of where you're going, or you're, whatever you want. I mean, the phone is a great thing. But again, because I speak highly on being responsible for our thoughts and what we do in life, and what comes into our brain, and how we process what comes into our brain, and how we process what we put out, and being mindful of all these type of things. And, if we could just put it in its space, like, I really don't want to criticize. I think the technology is great. It's very convenient and very helpful in a lot of ways. But, people are, the thing is, like with it, and again, like with people on their phone driving and stuff, like, they're so entrenched, so in that world instead of like the real world. Well, I don't even know if this world's the real world, right? Because we're living in the simulation, the matrix. But, for the lack of better terms, if you're just staring at the phone all day and you're like engulfed in the social media world, the media world, the cell phone world, playing games, I don't know, Angry Birds. I was going to say Crazy Birds. I know I'm really dating myself. Angry Birds. How old is that? But ironically enough, about Angry Birds, I was flipping through the TV channels last night and I saw that the Angry Birds movie 2, there was a sequel. Angry Birds movie 2 was on last night, and as I flipped through, I said, "Geez, Angry Birds 2." I didn't even know they made an Angry Birds 1. And then I thought, why would they even make a movie about this? So it's like, it's just like the game. You just flip the thing, and I don't know. I mean, I never really played Angry Birds back then. What is it now? Candy Crush? Is that still popular? I don't know. I'm so far behind. What is the new game that everybody plays on their cell phone now that keeps them not paying attention to the road while they're driving? But again, to go back to like just the courtesy to your fellow human being part of things, you're operating a motor vehicle at a high rate of speed on a highway with a lot of other people around you. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm out of my mind. I'm a crazy thinker, as you know, if you're here on a regular basis. So, but just to maybe show some care and caution for those around you, and just a level of, respect to not cut people off and, whatever, almost cause an accident because you're weaving all in and around with your cell phone. But excuse me, that was the first part of it. Just seeing, and then that triggered the whole thought of beyond that, like everything else that I noticed, I mean, think about how pervasive it is, right? I'm just saying, even if you go to a restaurant, you go to a restaurant, people are sitting in a restaurant, and let to be people sitting at the table, and everybody's on their phone. And I'm going to say this again, because I noticed this yesterday too. When I was out with my friends, we stopped and got some lunch while we were out, and we sat down, and all three of us sat down, and then but we all checked our phones, and then I realized, I looked up, and I'm like, damn, I'm doing it, and I saw we're all three of us on our phones, like I quick just whatever I was looking at, and I put it down, and I put my phone off to the side, and I didn't look at it, for the rest of the time. But, but that's how, what I'm saying is that's why we have to be aware and responsible, because it's so easy for us to, get caught up in it. And every moment we're really like it's like so psychological and, and deep in a sense of like, every moment where you might think a little boredom or, you're not sure, you're waiting for something, like if you're waiting for your food or whatever, instead of talking to the people that you're with, it's like, oh, I can jump back on my phone or, jump back on my phone. Let me see what's going on. I didn't check this website in 6 minutes, so it's just pretty interesting dynamics. And again, I always say this, the powers that be, of course, they know this. It's designed this way because obviously if everyone is engaged in their phone instead of engaged with their fellow human, it obviously helps build that level of separation that they're trying so hard to keep, and as well as, just the basics of humanity, the connections that we're all looking to share, right? I mean, people like to talk to each other and, see someone's expression on their face and maybe a little smile. That's why I want to smile at you all the time. I love smiling. I'm a big smiling kind of guy. I smile. I'm going to be like Trump. I smile. Okay. I love to smile. I'm the best smiler. Quite honestly, there's nobody in the world that smiles better than me. Okay. I smile. That's it. I'm a smiler. So anyway, sorry about that. My brain, you know how it goes. Anyway, and so yes, people sitting at the restaurants are on the phone. You go to a grocery store. I mean, people are walking around. Even when they're shopping, they're still like on their phone. Or I saw it. This morning it made me think. 'Cause I knew I was going to kind of talk about this today. When I was out for my walk, I saw this woman with her dog, and of course, the dog got kind of going one way, and she's going the other way, and earbuds in, and the phone in her hand, staring at the phone. The dog was just kind of like, the dog's like you're on the leash, and the dog's like. And they're just like, it's just like, I don't know, maybe, you turn around 5 minutes later and the dog's gone, like what happened to the dog, So, and of course at the pool, I mean, I see it all the time at the pool, where, the kids are playing at the pool, the parent, the mother or the father, whoever, I understand, again, this is not criticism, they want a break from their kids, I get it, but the kids, are swimming in the pool, they're young kids, maybe you should watch the kids. I mean, I get it, you want to check your phone, but it's like, help me, mommy. I'll be right there, sweetheart. Just keep swimming. And that's it. The kid's gone. We lost the kid. Oh, my God. What happened to that kid? I love that kid. There's nothing funny about a child drowning in a pool. Summer safety, people. Summer safety. That's enough. Stop that. Get out of here. Hey-o. Okay. All right. So, but anyway, that's basically, and I'm just here, well, this is all obvious stuff, right? I mean, I'm not like, doing any groundbreaking, special event, news breaking journalism or anything here. I'm just making an observation because that's what we do on Operation Status Quo. We have just observed the world, right? So, and it's just an interesting dynamic, when you walk around and you look at how many people are on their phone in so many different capacities. And, it's just like, wow, it's just like you just can't let it go. And I say this a lot of times too, and that's why I purposely make times not to have the phone. I'll leave the phone at home when I go for a walk. I'll leave the phone at home when I go for a swim. And quite honestly, a lot of times, if I'm going out grocery shopping or something, I'll leave the phone home. I feel like, what do I really need it for? I'm driving around the corner. I'm going to the store. I mean, unless the car broke down and I had to, get repairs. But in that case, every single other person in the world has a cell phone, so I'm sure I can get help. If not, I guess I can go into the store and maybe they would let me use their landline if they still have one of those going on. I'll just have to go over to my pay phone and put some change in there. Can you imagine? Oh man. But yeah, I would encourage people. Listen, guys, I'm just saying this because I just, again, yesterday it kind of clicked, especially that guy. He was in this BMW all tinted out, and I could see a little bit through the window, but it was, mostly tinted. And he was just like this, and he's just like this, and with the phone, and he was just like, weaving in it. And what's funny about it too is like, he's doing all this like crazy speed and cuts around all this traffic, and then like, we're on the other lane, and we wound up catching back up, and then you see he's on his phone, and then I guess, I don't know, maybe he finished that text, so he looks back up and he realized, oh, I'm only doing 80 again, so let me jam the gas to get back up to 100 and start cutting around people. So I don't know. Sometimes I'm thinking, where they slow down, they make their text, right, and then all of a sudden they speed up again. It's almost like they're trying to catch up to their text. It's like I sent a text and it's 5 miles up the road and I got to get to it. Like I don't understand. But anyway, it's just a space here, as I always say, to just observe what's going on in the world. The technology is great. I think like everything in our world, there's nothing necessarily that is good or bad, right or wrong. It's really a matter of how things are utilized. The intention behind having the technology and using it is wonderful. But at the same time, like we have to find some space, to give space from that stuff, because it really can be 24/7, right? And you can just wind up, it's 24/7. You could sit on your phone all day and go from a game to a text to watching a video on YouTube. Maybe this video. Maybe you're watching this video on your phone right now while you're driving. Go ahead. I encourage it. What the hell's the difference? People drive like idiots anyway most of the time, so you might as well watch this. Hey-o. One idiot to another. Seriously. All right. Well, anyway, that's the basics of it, really, ladies and gentlemen. And, so I just encourage people out there to, find time each day a little bit to, give yourself space from that stuff. Teach your kids to teach your children well. Teach the kids to engage in the world and maybe put the phone away for a little bit. And as an aside, I don't know why I'm saying this, but as an aside, when I was at the pool the other day, I don't know if I mentioned this when I was doing my show or not, but I started this woman was educating her children at the pool, doing like homeschooling lessons while they were at the pool. She had 3 kids and they taking turns. One, they were swimming, and the one would come out and do a lesson, and they go back in and she'd do a lesson with the other one. And I wound up having a conversation with her, and she said that she's from Florida originally, I guess, and been here her whole life, and that she was homeschooled, and Florida has always been one of the best spaces in the country, she said, for homeschooling, of which of course I was unaware, because I never even really thought of homeschooling so much based on my upbringing and where I came from and all. And now she was homeschooling her kids, and it was really the kids were really well behaved, right? They were engaged, and I just thought it looked like fun, pool school at the pool is really cool. You can make a whole campaign about it, school at the pool is really cool. School at the pool is really cool. I can't even say it right for myself. So, but anyway, can I get out of here? Anyway, yeah, so that was pretty cool that, she was doing that. And she was even was telling me that, I guess they work together. I don't know how it all works, but I guess she works together with like other parents too that are doing the same thing. And I guess different parents teach like different subjects, and the kids go to other people's houses, for different subjects. She was even saying like some farming stuff, like one of the mothers, I guess, plants, gardens, grows things, does stuff more like farm related, even, preparing an animal if you were going to cut off the head of a chicken and have it for dinner, teaching like all that kind of stuff. I'm like, well, you would never get any kind of practical teaching like that in a normal public school, right? But I'm saying, the parents all work together and they all have different skills and they teach each other. That's really, I think that's really a great thing. And that's, another facet of what I talk about as far as moving forward in the future and building communities and not being so reliant on a system. Think about that. These kids are learning and learning within their community, building community while learning, engaged. They go on field trips for different things and stuff. So, I don't know. I thought it was really great. Almost was like, damn, wish maybe school would have been fun if we did it that way when I was growing up. But, and on top of it, it makes the kids more engaged and active. You're at the pool, right? So, you learn a little bit of history or whatever, math, whatever the subject is, and you go for a little swim and you're in a fun environment. Not like the same thing like with work, right? Like, we're forced to sit in cubicles, sit at a desk, sit in an office. Same thing with school, sit in a building, sit in the desk, and, you're just there and just stare at the board all day. It's, I don't know. It's, I feel there's so many better ways to, for everyone to learn and grow. What I'm saying is like all these tasks that are kind of necessary for human existence, they don't have to be like drudgery and difficult and you can't stand to do anything, right? So if we do it in a different way, we can make learning fun. We can actually learn. Society can work together. People can communicate well. So I don't know. There's a lot of positives, I think, in all those realms. So anyway, today, iPhone, my phone, because it's just like the iPhone is my phone and my eye is on on the phone and I can't stop looking at the phone. So I would say just take the time to put the phone away, even if it's for like, I don't know, a few chunks of the day, an hour here, an hour there, where you just pretend you don't even have it, and just open your mind to other things. Not that you're not, and not that it's bad. All right, I'm just trying to say, I try to be gentle about these things at times because I know I'm always, quote unquote, preaching in a certain way, which I really don't want to do because these are just my perspectives, and I'm just here to share them with you, the people, because I love you, the people, and that's why we're here together. So I just feel we can, and I'm again coming from a perspective of growing up without the phone, so I like the phones, but at the same time, we don't have to be our whole life engaged this way. I just think there should be, and I say has to be, but there should, I feel personally, that there should be a balance of where we kind of use technology for its benefits, but also remember how wonderful it is to engage with our own engaging tools, our hands, our eyes, our ears, our smells, whatever the case may be. Some of this might smell a little worse than others, and maybe there is an app for that you can detect somebody smelling before you get too close, so maybe that's helpful. I don't know. I don't want to counterbalance my point of saying keep away from your phone, but there's an app for that, right? So maybe there's an app to keep you off your phone. Maybe you can download the Keep Me Off My Phone app that every time you go on the phone, the app, like, I don't know, gives you a little electric shock or something after so many minutes that you're on the phone too long. I don't know, it just shuts down. The phone just shuts down. I don't know. Anyway, that's it. This isn't a complex thing. It's just more of an observation of how interesting it is to see how engaged and engrossed people are with the technology, and how much I think a lot of people just miss what's going on, how beautiful things are right in front of them in the present moment. It always comes back to the oneness in the present moment, and the more that we can put aside the things that distract us from that, the more resilient we can be, the more productive we can be, the happier we can be, the more abundant we can be. So everything in its space, ladies and gentlemen. That's all I'll say. So enjoy your phones out there, especially while you're watching this program. I appreciate your time for sure. But then after that, put the phone down and then think to yourself, why the hell was I watching that kooky guy talking? He makes no sense. He says so much stuff that makes no sense. That's not true. That's really not. Heyo. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's what I got for you here today on Operation Status Quo. Thanks for taking the time to be with me. Please, if you haven't done so already, like, subscribe, share, send this out to your friends, your family, those you love, and of course, those you despise as well. You are more than welcome here, so if there's anything you'd like to share, please feel free to contact me. My information is in the description box below, and you can reach out to me. I'd be happy to share topics you want me to talk about. I'm also happy to have you on as a guest if that is something that resonates with you. So all you have to do is reach out and let me know. Otherwise, just sit back, relax, enjoy, watch the episodes, and have a great time. And I'm happy that you're here. I love each and every one of you individually as well as a group. God bless you. I appreciate you. And until tomorrow, Operation Status Quo disengaged.
Boulevard of 10 short blocks